Okay, so I have been doing my videos for my latest course that I have running right now, which is a manifestation life coaching course and certification. So teaching people how to use manifestation and the law of attraction to literally choose their lives and help their clients to learn the same thing. And it's super, super powerful. I was making Fridays is my scheduled day for videos for the course, and if you've heard me in some of the other videos, like I'm really like digging scheduling stuff lately, so I'm pretty excited about that. And staying on schedule is great. But I have been doing that, and I wanted to come and talk to you guys about the Akashic Records today, because I initially wasn't going to talk about this within in that course, and I've decided to kind of add this information to it, because I think it's really, really powerful. And everybody, you know, with the spiritual world, what kind of happens is that there are all these kind of terms that people kind of use and sometimes abuse. You know, it's like, this is the buzzword now, and this is the buzzword now, and this is the buzzword now. And I'm seeing more and more about the Akashic Records, which is interesting because it's one of these things. I mean, guys, it's always there. It's simply a name for something that's always been there and always will be there. And so it's funny that you're hearing people talk. Hi, Camilla. Oh my gosh, I am going to call you. I've been actually working on videos for the course this morning. So it's one of these things that has always been there. And so just recently we're hearing more about the Akashic Records. So I wanted to come on and talk about this because this is the realm within that I work in. When I do soul alignment for people, and I do past life stuff for people, accessing their soul information, this is where this takes place, okay? So I want you to almost imagine that the Akashic Records is like a place, okay? It's not necessarily a place, but you could imagine it to be a place. And it is in the 5th dimension, okay? So we're in 3rd dimension right now. This is 3rd dimension, this is me, this is my body, I can touch it, right? This is physicality. We're in the 3rd dimension. There are more dimensions than that, and they are more energetic, and they kind of govern different things, okay? So the 5th dimension is where the Akashic Records are. And this is because in the 5th dimension, that is where knowledge, information, wisdom, past lives, real time, this is where this all exists, okay? So it's kind of a place of, you know, there's no time and space. It's just information. Quite frankly, it's just information. Okay, so when we learn how to access this, and it's a whole learned skill, you know, to access this information, we're able to access a lot about our souls energetically that we wouldn't be able to access in other dimensional realities, okay, or dimensions, okay? So when we talk about things like chakra healing and crystal healing, we're healing certain parts of the energetic body, but dimensionally, it might not be all of them. Okay, so this is why I talk about, like, there's a need for everything. And so what you do and what Sally does as a practitioner, if you have a business doing this, is both well and good, because you guys might be actually healing totally 2 different energetic realms, almost, essentially, okay? Energetic bodies of somebody, essentially, okay? So should be no competition among, you know, practitioners, because it's really all good. And even practicing within the Akashic Records, people do completely different things. Think of like a wealth of information, a place where all information exists. It's like a massive library of information, books everywhere, you know, files everywhere. Everything that's ever happened is in there. That is a huge amount of possibility to access. That's a lot of stuff to access. That's a lot of possibility for one practitioner to completely look different than another practitioner, right? And so when you hear people like, oh, I practice within the Akashic Records, okay, what do you do, right? Like, literally, like, there are people who practice the Akashic Records that do nothing close to what other people do, that do this, that still are accessing information within the Akashic Records. I literally, like, I specifically look at people's soul. You know, what is your blueprint? What past lives are preventing you from living your best life? And I kind of leave it at that, okay? Maybe I channel some stuff within that space, but I know a different practitioner that I actually have gotten readings from who works in the Akashic Records that quite simply goes in and channels information. And it's more future-based, right? Because all information exists in this place. All of it. And so, you know, there's so much information in this place called the Akashic Records because it's a whole dimension and it's basically a library of anything that's ever happened and will be. Okay? Now, when you talk about the future, things get a little bit more muddy because people make choices, okay? And so it's almost like there are a bunch of different outcomes that somebody could choose, and they can go here, 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 here based on all the different choices they could make. So it's much harder and it's much more of an art to work with some of that stuff, and helps people when people are working within the Akashic Records and they say, okay, you know, this is what could happen in the future. It's based on your choice, right? In the physical dimension, which is third dimension, okay? So I know that everybody's talking about this stuff right now. People even astrologically project in the Akashic Records, okay? Because astrological information is there too. Any type of information you want to access, it can sit there. So there's so many people who practice so many different things, and some people are accessing this that they don't even know that that's where they're accessing information, okay? So when we hear this word, Akashic Records, just simply think of there's a massive library somewhere out there in space, you know, wherever the heck, it's just a dimension, that there's all sorts of wealth of information. All information, all knowledge, all outcomes, all pasts, all presence is all there, okay? It's like somebody's sitting there writing everything that you're doing, okay, and recording it. And when people access it, they might be accessing completely different things, because it's like, you go to a library, like Louisa goes to the library, and I'm in the library, and I'm there looking at financial stuff and business books, and she's in there looking at science books. They're all there in the library, but they're not the same things, okay? So if you have ever worked with somebody who's working within the Akashic Records, you know, you might, from practitioner to practitioner, it might be totally different as to what they're telling you, and it could be totally different subject matter, right? And that's a pretty freaking cool thing. So learning how to access this, if you're interested in this in any type of way, you can reach out to me, because I'm literally wrapping this stuff into a course that I'm teaching currently, and going to help people to access that information for certain things that I use it for, right? When I go into the Akashic Record, I access past lives for people, their soul blueprint, okay, which is essentially who you are at a base level, what you're here to accomplish, and any blockages that are in the way, and then I help with clearing work, okay? So there's karmic stuff wrapped up in this, but I'm not projecting anything for their future, okay? I will help them maybe to discover some choices that they could make better, but I don't tinker with astrology in there, I don't tinker with future in there, I don't tinker with, there's a lot of things I just don't tinker with there, okay? Because it's not my expertise, okay? But the Akashic Records is simply a place where there is knowledge and information that could be accessed at any time for anyone, but there are a bunch of reasons why you can and can't, okay? And the main reason why you can and can't access it is, one, you need to know how to access it, and two, you can't just access people's information willy-nilly. Absolutely cannot do that. It is very not okay. Okay? So when people do things like, you know, they say, oh, I'm going to do something for a group, and they don't have permission from all people involved within that, and they're accessing Akashic Records for like a group of people, that would be a situation where it would not be ethically okay. So in that sense, you know, things have to be ethical as well, okay? Because that's a huge part, unless you want to incur a bunch of karma that, you know, I don't think anybody wants to incur. And even things like property and land, okay? Land clearing and property clearing. There's information about that in the Akashic Records as well. But again, has to be permission granted. You cannot just walk around willy-nilly clearing clearing people's space and clearing people and clearing the earth of whatever you think you're clearing the earth of. You just can't do it. Permission is important. That's what gives you access to information for people. And if that is broken, that is a universal law that is broken. And so that's important as well. So that's all I wanted to talk about today. So when you're working with somebody who practices within the Akashic Records, don't think you're going to get the same thing from every single person. Completely different things. They can be accessing totally different information that one person would never even think to look at, okay? Because it's just a wealth of information. It's a place of wealth of information. Now, what I do within the Akashic Records is, again, to simply help people look at past lives, what karma they've incurred, why is this causing blocks in their life, why is this causing them to run through the same cycle over and over and over, how to clear it out of the way so that they can open up to new possibilities for the future, okay? How they can use that to manifest a better alignment to their soul purpose, because that's what information I access there too. And then they can take it and run with it, okay? So if you feel like you have been living and you kind of see some cycles that kind of like happen over and over and over and over, or you feel like there's something that's keeping you out of alignment that you can't quite put your finger on, it might just be that it's too dense of information for you to necessarily have the skill set to access. And that's okay. We all have different skill sets. I talked to an Akashic Records practitioner who helps me with a skill set I don't have, and I just have her read that stuff for me because I don't want to access it. Two, it's not my expertise, right? And so have somebody help you, because there could be things blocking you that you are unaware of that are karmic, that can very easily be assessed and kind of be cleaned out of the closet, so to speak, so you can move forward with your life and stop attracting the same outcome. And it's a beautiful thing. So, you know, I just wanted to kind of talk about that today, and now I'm going to get back to doing my videos for my life coaching course that I'm teaching right now. So, and if you're interested in that, send me a message too, okay? So I just wanted to talk about the Akashic Records, where they are, fifth dimensional, and what's there, okay? But there's so much use for so many different practitioners, because there are so many different energetic levels when we talk about spirituality that it is beyond our knowing, okay? So you do the good work, and Sally does the good work, and Sally's friend Rachel does the good work, and it's all good, because we're all working on stuff that can help people, and it's not all the same, I can promise you that, and people need it nonetheless. Everybody has different stuff, okay? So that's why we say more light workers, the better. The more, the better, okay? Because we're all helping the consciousness to raise, and the people to help their own self-awareness and their own self-reflection. That's all good, okay? So I will see you guys soon. I'll see you guys tonight, and we'll have our new moon meeting tonight, and tap to some of that beautiful energy. I'm going to do some stuff with singing bowls, I think. Ooh. Yeah, singing bowls, crystal bowls. They were sexy. Okay, I'll see you guys later.